Well, welcome back to Scouting for History. It's a beautiful spring day. I had a couple hours, so I'm going to do a quick video on pinpointers, why they're important, some tips and tricks, the one that I use and why I use it, why it's my favorite pinpointer, and do a little depth test and show you how it adjusts. So stay tuned. Here we go. Well, let's go. Before we get started, two quick disclaimers. First of all, these are my thoughts. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I bought all my equipment. So as Bart says,
we pay for all this stuff ourselves, so thanks for nothing.
So these are my opinions. It's my assessment. Take it for what it's worth, but hey, that's the way it is. And then disclaimer number two, there are a lot of pinpointers on the market, and I've only used two. When I first started out, I had the pinpointer. If you watch videos, it seems to be the one everybody uses. So when I started, that's the one I got, the Garrett orange pinpointer, the Carrot. Now, it did its job, and I had it for a long time, but there were three things about it that I really didn't like. First, it took a 9-volt battery. This is the 21st century. Everything's rechargeable. What the hell's with batteries? I mean, a couple of times the battery died and I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Now I have no pinpointer if I don't have an extra battery. It was just frustrating. It didn't happen very often, but it's just old technology. Get with the program. The second thing is it's waterproof. There's air quotes around that. There's a little rubber button or rubber cover covering the control switch, and it's flimsy. It broke 3 times while I had it. They kept sending me new covers. It's just frustrating. I don't use it a whole lot in water, but on rainy days and things like that, I don't want to run the risk of anything happening to my pinpointer. If I have a waterproof pinpointer, I expect it to be waterproof. That button was just way too flimsy. And now the last thing, and the thing that really drove me the craziest, just watch any video of people using them. It falses constantly, and I'd be chasing phantom signals in the hole. You wouldn't stand for a detector that constantly led you to something that's just not there. Why do you put up with it with a pinpointer? It's just insane. So even ground balancing it and changing the settings, it was still false constantly. It was just awful. So then after that, I moved on to the Simplex, and with the Simplex bundle came the NoktaMakro PulseDive pinpointer. This thing is the answer to the 3 problems I had with the Garrett. First of all, it's rechargeable. When I'm done for the day, I go home, I plug it in, it's charged, ready for the next adventure. It's completely waterproof. There's no flimsy buttons. It's solid state. Pressure sensitive buttons right here. No way for it to leak. It's awesome. And then the third thing is, this does not false ever. It's the perfect pinpointer after the Carrot. This was a godsend. Now with the Simplex, an added bonus was the Simplex paired with the green headphones from NoktaMakro, and this paired with the green headphones from NoktaMakro. Now I've upgraded to the Legend, and it uses special headphones. It doesn't pair with that, so that's a little upsetting, but I can live with that for now. Eventually, hopefully, they'll have it where you can pair a pinpointer with those headphones, make it all part of a seamless package. So stay tuned. I'll show you some tips, and I'll show you how to adjust the settings on your PulseDive if you decide to get one. These things are awesome, and they're actually about $10 cheaper than the Garrett Carrot. So cheaper and much better in my opinion. So on to the next. So tip number 1 for pinpointing doesn't even involve the pinpointer. It involves your detector. Making sure that you properly dig a plug so that the target is in the plug. If you don't do that, then you're just going to have to dig multiple holes. You're just going to frustrate yourself. So always dig a proper plug. Remember what the carpenters say: measure twice, cut once. So cut a good plug. After you flip your plug, don't just jump down and turn on the pinpointer and start rooting around. Figure out whether it's in the plug or in the hole, and that way you can save yourself some wear and tear on your knees. And it is.
It's in the hole! It's in the hole! Hey!
In the hole. Let's see what it is. Probably a penny. Oh, and there it is. It's a copper memorial. Well, at least it's copper. On to the next. Before you even get the pinpointer out, you just look for clues. See the discoloration of the soil here? That's where something was in the soil and it changed the color of it. And a little quick look, and there it is. Didn't even need the pinpointer for it. It's just a wheat penny, I'm sure. Yep, just a wheat penny. But didn't even need the pinpointer for that one. On to the next. Is when you start out, make sure you're in one of the lower settings. If you're in a higher setting, it'll make it harder to pinpoint where the target is. Now that was junk, but always start in the lower settings. If you need to, you can always increase the power. But if you go into the hole looking for it with the highest setting, it's just going to beep all over the place, and it'll make it harder for you to pinpoint where the object is. On to the next. Well, these soil conditions don't lend themselves to the next tip. But remember that your pinpointer isn't just sensitive here, it's sensitive along the edge too. So if you're in sandy conditions or in a farm field or the ground is really dry, you can just sweep the pinpointer along, and when you find the spot, lift it up, bring it back, and then you'll pinpoint where the target is. But that's a way to quickly find your target instead of just using the tip of the pinpointer. Alright, on to the next. The next tip for pinpointing is to do the scoop. So a lot of people will scoop out dirt and poke at it with the pinpointer. What I do is I take the dirt and I scoop it out, and as soon as I hear the beeping, I know the target's out of the hole, and there it is, just a piece of junk. But makes it quick and easy to find what you're looking for, save steps, you know, scooping, picking up the pinpointer, sweeping, and so on. All right, on to the next. So the PulseDive is very easy to operate. There's 3 pressure sensitive buttons. They're solid, so there's no leakage. There's power, function, and adjustment. So power, you just turn it till you hear a beep, and now it's on. Function, there's 3 functions. There's vibrate, there's beep with vibrate, and then there's just vibrate again. So we'll turn it to beep. And then to adjust it, you just hit and hold the F button and hit the A, and the number of beeps is the level of sensitivity. That's number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, highest, back to 1. That's it. Very easy. Air test next. So just like you do with a detector, this is just a depth kind of test. I'm using a mercury dime with the PulseDive, and I've just got my little measuring device set here. So I'm just going to move the dime towards the pinpointer until it goes off. Now the reason I'm using a silver dime is the larger the object, the the further away the pinpointer will detect it. So if I used a quarter, it could be a little further, the quarter could be a little further away and trigger the pinpointer. But dimes are the most common thing that are found. So let's start with that. So at sensitivity level number 1, we move our dime closer and closer and closer. And a little over half an inch away, it picks it up. So now at sensitivity level number 2, we bring our dime in. Right about an inch away, right about an inch away, it picks it up. And at level 3, about an inch and a quarter. At about an inch and a quarter, level 3. At level 4, an inch and a half away, level 4. And at level 5, 2 inches away, level 5, it picks it up. So you can see how the different sensitivities, you can pick up that object further and further away. The point of this is to know if you're at sensitivity level 2 and you are picking up the target with your pinpointer, you know that it's within an inch of the tip of the pinpointer or of anywhere along the pinpointer. Knowing how sensitive each level is and the distances involved really helps to pinpoint where objects are and how much further you need to dig to find those objects. So on to the next. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned a few things. Hope it helped. And I hope to see you on the next adventure. Come along.